In this lesson, we'll create a global control. The global control, of course, enables us to reposition the character very easily wherever he or she needs to be in the scene. We wouldn't want to select the upper body, select the feet and the arm controls and move the character over that way. So let's go ahead and create this control and tie in what we need to so that it will function right. We'll go to our create panel and actually create a triangle using the line tool. So let's head over to the top view. And basically the point of this triangle is going to be pointed in the character's direction, so we always know what orientation the character has, what direction the character is always pointing in. So I'm just going to go back to the snap tool, make sure we're snapping to grid points, press the S key and just snap to grid. And then we'll go ahead and close the spline and come out of the tool. Alright, heading back over to the perspective, you can definitely scale this out some more. I'll turn off snap. Go ahead and scale this out. Maybe scale it in a little bit more in the Y. And if you wanted to, you could even go to the shape of it, go into the hierarchy panel, affect object only, go to the move tool and kind of bring this up so it wraps a little bit better around the character. Okay, I'll change the color to that dull yellow we used for the upper body control to kind of stay consistent with our color scheme. From here, what we could also do is go ahead and rename this. So that's going to be CC underscore global 01. And now we'll freeze its transformations. Alright, now as far as linking, we want to take the center of gravity control, the knee controls, and the feet controls, and go ahead and link those all to this global control. So now as we start to move this global control around, it should move the entire rig. Now notice we have to do something about our thighs. Again, after the twist is done, we can now link the thighs right to their bone, okay, which is the hip bone. So let's select the thigh bones. We'll go to our link tool and link right to the hip. Alright, so as we start to move this around, now it will function just right. As we start to rotate it, it'll rotate exactly the way we need it to. And scaling will work as well. So we can resize the character if we need to. Alright, our rig is coming along very well. What I'd like to do next is go ahead and lock any parameters that we will not be animating on for our upper body controls. So that's just going to be scale. We still want to have control, of course, over rotation and position. So starting with the center of gravity, we'll head over to the curve editor, find scale, and choose lock. We'll do the same for the chest control and hip control. Alright, well, now that that's done, that basically finishes everything up. What we could do as well is go ahead and just check to make sure when we choose transform to 0, everything goes back the way it needs to. And notice, because we relinked our upper body control back to this new global control that we made, we're going to get that offset. So we can undo that, rerun freeze transform, and now if we were to choose transform to 0, we're not going to get that pop. Let's check the other controls. The hip control, transform to 0, that's fine. The chest, transform to 0, that's fine as well. Now remember, we froze transformations on our center of gravity, so we'll need to head over to our motion panel, and under our rotation list, again, we need to reset our axis order back to XCY. Okay, great. Alright, so we saw the importance of freezing our transforms after we link. We can go ahead and check our feet controls. Transform to 0, notice how that offsets. The other one's going to do the same, so we'll select both. Alt right click, freeze transforms. We'll do the same to the knee controls. Alright, so now that these controls are cleaned up, we can go ahead and check out how the thighs react as we start to rotate our hips. Alright, so they're linked right, and everything else is solid. Okay, so that finishes up our global control. As we start to create our extra controls, we need to make sure that that gets tied right back to the global so it will work the way we expect it to. That finishes this lesson, and of course if you wanted to, you can take this global control now and add it to your control objects. Oh, added an extra layer. I'll just go ahead and remove that and choose add. There we go. Okay, and that finishes that up. So that finishes this lesson. We finished the spine, we've finished the legs. The next topic is going to be the head rig.